We're gonna do a
Non-spoiler.
non-spoiler section, and after we've talked about it, because we've both seen the movie, we're gonna have a spoiler section with a special guest, Sean. So that will be incorporated later when you see him on. But right now, we're just gonna talk about the movie, what we thought about it, if it's worth watching in theaters or whatnot. So we're talking about the Flash. I don't know if I should just put a little thing, a graphic, but we're talking about the Flash that just came out in theaters. I'll go first. I thought the movie was a lot of fun. Story wise, good start.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers, but good start.
They all die.
I fail. I failed to see how this could have been the movie that expands into James Gunn's universe. I guess I kind of see at the end. I don't know if the ending was kind of like a joke, or if that's how it's gonna move forward. For the non-spoiler section, I can't say what it is, but it's obviously from what you saw in the trailers, he can go in time, right? He's messing things up, and then he's trying to correct it, and that's why you don't see these other characters. That's why we see Michael Keaton, the Batman version, because he went to his universe, and he's just doing all these other things. But yeah, I failed to see how when he went back that it's the new universe of how James Gunn's taking things over. Maybe it is. Maybe I missed something. Maybe someone in the comments could elaborate that more. Otherwise, very fun movie. Very much nostalgic moments, right? We see it's kind of like a farewell for a lot of the key characters we saw before James Gunn. Until he moves on to new actors who are filling these roles. There is an end credit scene.
At the very end.
Like, yeah, at the very end, like after the credits.
Don't give it away.
I'm not going to give it away, but I don't think it makes sense.
It doesn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me, but it's all right. I was expecting more, man. I just was. I think it's because this movie's been building up for so long. And I've been excited to watch The Flash and the multiverse and all these cameos that they're supposed to have in this movie and stuff. It didn't hit the level of excitement, right? Like, I went to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Wasn't as excited, didn't have, it's just going to be another movie, and that was great, right? Great. But I think I screwed up with The Flash. I came in thinking it's going to be great. And it was good.
Yeah, there's some cameos. I might mention in the spoiler, but there were some cameos that when you saw the characters, it's like cool, but oh, that was it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. There's some that I was like, oh, that's cool, but
It
I want
didn't
more.
give me the farewell.
It didn't. No, it didn't. No, it was just like a ripoff, right? Like
They
that's
just
it.
showed up for a quick check or something. That was it.
That's it. That's all. That's all we're gonna get.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. It was like more of a farewell because we know these actors are not going to play the same characters anymore.
But did you not think it was kind of a funny movie too? Like unexpectedly funny.
Oh yeah,
There's some
that
funny
wasn't.
parts.
It's not forced funny, like cringe funny. It was like genuinely funny. There's this good pace in the comedy section, good comedy relief. I like that.
No, the ending was great. Like
yeah, before the credits, but the ending
before the
was
credits,
amazing.
like the ending was like, it was great. It's almost like it's worth watching. Here's something though, like for me, I thought Supergirl like kind of stole the show some thunder. I thought she did great.
I thought she did phenomenal. It's like damn, like because I know they were making the movie with her and they canceled it, and now it's like she did a
Why?
great job.
She did awesome. Like I could see her in a movie.
Really good. Yeah, I was like, damn, I'd like to see her more.
Her acting was actually really good. Like her anger when she finds out a bit of information and she gets mad, like that's real. Like I like that. Like I was like, that is like that's real emotion. Without giving it away. If you stay for the spoiler because you watched it, we'll talk about it some more. And just an added bonus, she's hot.
Oh sure, she's very attractive.
She's a very good-looking Supergirl.
She definitely sold me in as a Supergirl because I didn't. I went in with an open mind.
Not me at first. At first, I was like, who's
eh.
this actress?
Yeah.
When they picked her and they showed her, and I was like, she's not going to do well.
I mean, yeah, because I was thinking when they canceled the movie, I was like, why are you bringing back the same person? I thought you were gonna just have someone else.
Correct. But
It
then
feels more like Supergirl.
you watch it and you see her acting, and you're like, okay, she's actually a pretty good actor.
Mm-hmm.
She has me sold. Did you know the original story for The Flash wasn't multiverse? They were gonna have Boomerang in there and Reverse Flash, and then they changed it because they went through so many directors, and it was supposed to come out in 2020 or something like that, and like it kept getting pushed out. But I did like it. I really did like it. I just didn't love it. I think I just had high expectations. It was entertaining, but it wasn't. I think they could have gone a different avenue.
Is it worth going to the theaters for?
Oh yeah, yeah. You got it. For me, superhero movies like are best at the theater.
Oh, there's been some DC movies. I've been like, oh, I should not have came here for this.
Well,
I should
remember
have watched it on streaming services.
we saw Aquaman IMAX, and that was pretty good.
The first one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the second one hasn't come out yet.
yeah. That was good. That was a good one to watch. But tickets are getting expensive. Like $13 for a movie.
So I got mine online. Yeah, it was 13. Well, there was a processing fee. I hate these fees. It's a junk fee. We all know it's a junk fee.
It's a
to
high
reserve
junk
your
fee. It's
right?
a high junk fee to reserve your seat. But
To reserve your seat.
The Flash, you had to reserve it. You can't take a chance and get there and
Get
not.
there and then you'll be in front row. Yeah.
You know, so that movie you had to. Other movies that have been out for a couple weeks, you know, like they have plenty of seats. We're fine. Let's go right now. We're good. I looked up The Flash, all these different shows. I probably picked out 2 theaters and different times for it, and they were going fast. And it was all like the end seats and stuff. And I got lucky at Chandler. And we have to get the ultimate rocker where, you know, the seats come up so you can, you know, lay out. That's like the best way to watch a movie. We went to a movie the other day at a different theater. I was thinking that all of them at Harkins are like that. And it wasn't like that at the Gilbert location or the one on Germain and Gilbert. I took my son. He's like, Dad, these don't rock. They rock back and forth, but they don't like let you laid back.
Oh yeah, because I went to the Harkins in Queen Creek. Yeah, it's like the old seats. Like you just sit down, where you know how they fold automatically, so you sit down and you rock a little bit. But it's not like what they have today, where it's like a reclining.
Yep, it rocks a little bit, but not. And they're bigger seats. They're bigger, comfortable seats, but they're not the ones that you're used to. That I'm used to going to Chandler Mall. That's where we go.
Do the tickets cost more at the Chandler Mall?
Because $1 more.
There's less capacity. That's why. Because you have those nice reclining chairs.
Leather. Nice leather. The other rockers were like the foam. But, you know, it's fine. But I'd rather be able to kick my feet up and just relax.
Yeah, it kind of has like a home experience
Oh,
to it.
big time. And it was packed. I took my son, and he's like, Dad, it's so full in here. I'm like, yeah, it's the first weekend. Every seat was taken. Yeah, it was cool, but it was fun.
But yeah, 4 more minutes. I like the movie a lot. Yeah, like you said, it's not great. There was some I did come in with high expectations because I thought this was supposed to be the movie that changes everything. That's where we're going into James Gunn's universe of it. I mean, did I miss something? Did I read that wrong? We'll probably ask Sean here in a bit, but I thought that was supposed to be like, this is what changes everything. This is what sets forward of what we can expect now from James Gunn's universe.
I don't think Ezra Miller comes back.
As Flash?
Yeah.
Oof, I don't know.
And why are you doing an Aquaman 2? Or are you just finishing the slate? Because James Gunn said he's starting over with Superman. That is what's going to start the James Gunn clock.
Right. Okay, because Blue Beetle doesn't.
Blue Beetle's not on his watch. That was already in production before. So you know Blue Beetle's already doomed.
I did not, because that actor, I have high hopes for that actor.
That trailer looks good. And here's the thing with Blue Beetle. Think about it. When Iron Man came out, I never cared about Iron Man as a kid. Never. What, this guy built out of iron? No, like he's like the least favorite. He was there like next to Hawkman. Why can't I think of his name? because he's so irrelevant in Marvel Comics. The guy who shoots the arrows in the Avengers,
Nighthawk, I think it is.
something like that. He was exactly. I don't even know his name. He was
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye. He's right there with Hawkeye. Like no one cares. Everyone wants Captain America and the Hulk were the two big Avengers and Thor. But Iron Man arguably is like the coolest Avenger. He has the coolest toys. So with today's technology, Blue Beetle could be that for DC.
He's a mix of Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah. He looks pretty dope. And if you think about it, kind of like Green Lantern, because the computer that says whatever you think I can create, and he can like create all kinds of weapons and stuff. I'm actually looking forward to that movie. Like, no kidding. I think that's going to be legit.
What's his name again? Is it
Oh, I'll let you screw that one up.
It's Zolo
Yeah.
Marinduna?
Zolo Maraduna. He's in Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
you seen Cobra Kai?
Yeah, Cobra Kai. Except the last season. I'm
Great show. My kids love it.
Cobra Kai's great. No, but I'm excited for that actor. I mean, see him as Blue Beetle, so that's gonna be cool. Hopefully they carry on the franchise, or are they gonna do a thing where it's just like different universes of DC? That's why they can't incorporate all of them like the way Marvel has done. But then James Gunn came from Marvel, where they incorporated all the characters, right?
Yeah, but Eternals aren't incorporated in the Marvel.
But they were around for the whole Thanos thing, and they explained
Yeah,
why
that's
they
true.
were
That's
not.
true.
I think they're just gonna do away with them. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see what happens to them. But I definitely think Blue Beetle will be fun kid, family friendly. But man, I just saw the numbers for Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So, and then supposedly the Flash is doing bad.
Really?
Yeah, look up not IMDb, but box office numbers for the Flash. Just because we're on it right now, if it doesn't make 100 million first weekend, that is bad. 60 million.
Well, the weekend's not over.
It pretty much is. Like they already know like how many tickets are going to be sold today, based off of Saturday.
Interesting.
Dude, it won't even make 70 million.
How much did they spend on this movie? Like 150 or something like that?
Way more than 150.
Interesting.
Dude,
Will the Flash disappoints with 55 million debut?
that's not good.
That's not good, unfortunately.
That's really bad. They needed to double that. That's not good because the second week's not going to be as good. Obviously, there's a big drop off from week 1 to week 2. Oh, that sucks. Well, and then James Gunn's like, it wasn't my movie.
That's true.
So you can be like, see, this is why we're changing everything. So that means Aquaman 2 is going to be doomed.
Yeah, because he's not. Because
Arthur Curry's not coming back.
who's Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm forgetting people's names. He's not. He might play another character.
He's playing Lobo,
Lobo.
which is in Superman.
Yeah, but he's no longer gonna be the Aquaman. So they might just. I don't know. What do you do with Aquaman 2? I mean, it's done. Like.
Oh, it's over. It's good. Well, here's the problem. Do you remember Wonder Woman when it came out? It made a ton of money.
Right.
And it was like, holy cow, we have something here. Did you know how bad Wonder Woman 2 bombed?
Was it the 1984?
Yeah.
How bad?
Like,
Super bad?
super bad. So bad that they said, we're not doing a third.
Because I remember watching 1984. I was like, this movie does suck.
It was lame. It was such bad
It's kind of
writing.
stupid bad writing.
It's
really
such
lazy
bad writing. Correct.
The actress isn't. I hate to say she's not that good. When I was rewatching like Batman versus Superman and Justice League, I was like, she's kind of.
They all got their money. They're done.
She's a very beautiful woman, but her acting was not for Wonder Woman. I'm sure they could find another Wonder Woman.
She didn't sell me as Wonder Woman.
I feel like they could make a whole universe of the Amazonians.
Oh, yeah.
They have a really good story. It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But anything else before we get a hold of Sean?
Nope. Let's
All right,
go ahead.
We're
and
going to
go.
move over to our spoiler section of this for The Flash. So if you like The Flash, really enjoyed it, stay tuned for that.
Boom.
Hello.
Hey, there he is. Today we have Sean McNally on the McNally Minute. This is where Sean gives us 60 seconds of a movie review and then he's kapoots. Just kidding. But Sean, thank you for
Like a
taking
minute.
time.
You don't know me very well.
Thank you for taking time to, jump on the movie review with us here. And we want to hear from you about The Flash and what you think, what you thought about it, nuts and bolts. This is the spoiler part, so you can give away whatever you want. And
Mhm.
before you answer that, just tell us when you saw it and then go from there.
So I was actually really lucky. I actually got to see an advanced screening back on June 6th. So I got to see this like 10 days before the theatrical release for everybody else. So it was nice. As far as what I thought the movie was fun. It was good. Not great. A lot of people liked it a lot. I actually read a guy earlier today who said it's in his top five movies of all time. I respectfully disagree.
Big time.
That's okay. Everyone has their opinion. It's just not mine. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. It really to kind of get into the nuts and bolts. For me, the movie was just kind of just a lot of fan service. It kind of relied on it far too much. The idea that DC basically kind of took into this one, I think, was the idea of trying to make it kind of their version of Spider-Man No Way Home, and trying to make it, or yeah, No Way Home, and trying to make it so that they could kind of be their fan service movie, when kind of the crowd pleaser, if you will. I liked the swing. I thought the movie was fun. Like I said, I just don't think it was very good. I don't think that it really did a whole lot necessarily, considering the fact that this movie had all of the different issues in post production that it did. I'm not sure if you guys have mentioned this or not, because obviously I don't get to see your review prior to me recording, but for me, it's an issue of the movie itself has actually had three different endings filmed at this point. That just kind of tells you everything you basically need to know. There's always going to be reshoots. Reshoots are just a part of modern filmmaking. That's normal completely. I don't expect any movie, especially a big movie like this, necessarily not to have reshoots. That's fine. But when you go back and reshoot a movie, not once, but twice, but three times, that's really an issue. And so I think it's kind of indicative of what we kind of saw in the final product, and that it felt kind of half baked in certain ways. I think a big critique that a lot of people right now have is the fact that the special effects are not very good, or don't really look like that finished. I completely agree. They don't. But the fact is that at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is at this point. The movie's out. It is what it is. DC has obviously been, really, really, behind the ball in terms of the arms race, if you will, for superhero movies and things over the last several years, 10 years almost now at this point. And while there are a lot of points I loved the opening sequence. I thought that opening sequence with Batman and the whole chase thing was a lot of fun. There are parts within that sequence that I didn't really enjoy all that much. I thought the whole baby thing was ridiculous. I thought it
Oh
was
my God,
stupid. It
yes.
just so dumb. But there are other parts that really kind of land. Let's address the issue here. Ezra Miller is a horrible human being. He has a lot of mental issues. There's no issue. There's no getting away from that. As far as his Barry Allen, I don't like his Barry Allen. I don't. I don't consider myself a Flash fan. I never have. Have I read Flash books in the past? Sure. Does he strike me as Barry Allen? No, he never has. I think Ezra Miller is a very talented actor. I remember the first movies I remember seeing him in. I think was Perks of Being a Wallflower is the first one that kind of comes to mind. Really, really wanted to like that movie. I thought that overall it was kind of a mixed bag. He wasn't really an issue. I think he's actually very talented. He has issues, and it looks like they're trying to address. Oh, sorry, they are trying to address. I want to use the proper pronouns here because I don't want to be that guy. Um, but when it comes down to it, their performance was just not my thing. So as far as the rest of the thing, let's be honest. I mean, the reason I was really excited to see this, and the reason that I wanted to see it, in that advanced screening where I had to get there like an hour and a half early before the movie started, was I wanted to see Batman. I think that's for a lot of people really kind of the big draw here. I don't think that honestly, if Ezra Miller was the chief, draw here, that the movie would have made as much as it did. I really don't. It already underperformed expectations this weekend. But had it not had Michael Keaton, had it not had that additional component, I'm sorry, there's just no way that people are going to go out in droves.
It would have bombed worse.
Yeah, exactly. It really would have bombed a lot worse. So here's the issue. Michael Keaton is awesome. A lot of people say he's the best Batman. It's debatable.
That's debatable.
I'm not gonna say he is. I'm not gonna say he isn't. I like him a lot. I remember seeing the first movie. You're about my age. I think
yeah,
you're
we're the same
just
age.
a couple months older. Yeah. He was our Batman. I was 10 when that movie came out. In the summer of Batman, when literally everywhere you turn there was a bat signal. We lived through that. It was great.
Prince had that song. It was always on the radio.
Bat Dance.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I literally had Batman and Joker also high tops, canvas high tops like Chuck Taylor Converse All Star style shoes. I had the T-shirt. Okay, get this, for Christmas that year, 1989, I got a standee of Jack Nicholson that was 6 feet tall. So the cardboard standee, had it in the corner. It was awesome. I loved waking up every day and looking at Jack Nicholson. Was like the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes from my bunk bed. It freaked my mom out so many times when she'd walk into my room and suddenly it looks like there was a man
silhouette of a man
in the corner. Freaked her out so many times, but I loved it. I loved Batman. And so, for them to do what they did, which is really what they kind of based their entire movie, around, which is, fan service and nostalgia bombing, that's what they wanted to do. They accomplished their goal. The thing that made me laugh so hard about the way that this movie was done is the shoehorning of those bat catchphrases that got me. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Get nuts.
The way it's inserted in there,
yeah,
so bad. And so I remember seeing it in the trailer and thinking like, okay, so maybe just it's out of context, whatever. Maybe there's another line that kind of leads to it. Then when it actually happens in the movie, I just thought, oh my God, like really? yeah. I'm Batman. That one made a little.
That one made a little
sense
because
yeah. But the whole you want to get nuts. Come on, man.
Well, break down real quick. Remember what he says when he comes out like a caveman, long hair. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And he says, Gotham doesn't need me. It's one of the safest cities. Like,
yeah.
So you gave up working out or being, yourself. Like, there's no crime whatsoever. I mean.
Well, no, but I mean, if there's limited crime, then there's still Gotham Police. They can still take care of that. He doesn't have the rogues gallery that he has to deal with of the super villain criminal guys that he would typically have to fight.
And Alfred,
the thing that I love about this movie is the concept that Barry Allen has gone to this alternate timeline to obviously be in a timeline where his mother doesn't die. That's the whole crux of the film, and so many things that are better are improved and he wants to change them just because it's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not the way it's not the timeline that I'm from. And so we as the audience are supposed to kind of sign off on this whole concept as opposed to just saying, wait, hold on, let me get this straight. One of the worst, most crime-riddled cities on planet Earth with all these terrible, horrible villains like the Joker killing people willy-nilly, and suddenly we're supposed to get on board with him trying to change things. so that he can go back to the other horrible Gotham City that he comes from. Well, reality with Gotham City, because obviously the Flash is from Gotham City, Batman is. But when it comes down to it, it's things like that. It's a fine movie. It's kind of hollow. It feels, again, very, very fan servicey. That's what they're really trying to do. That's what they're trying to hang their proverbial hat on. So, as far as the fun factor, I enjoyed myself. I was watching it. I liked it. Getting to the cameos. The end obviously has a huge amount of cameos. The one obviously with the initial, kind of chase sequence with Ben Affleck. You obviously see Gal Gadot. You see Henry Cavill. They filmed those when Henry Cavill has come back. Basically, when they told him he was going to be returning to Superman before they yanked his cape away again, which sucked. I felt bad for the guy. Those are fun. It's a cute little thing. And I still will say this. I think my favorite thing about Wonder Woman is that theme song. That theme song, that so awesome. I need electric cello in my life. That's so good. But like, you see, it's like this little fun thing, whatever else. If you guys saw Shazam 2, Gal Gadot shows up in that at the end as well. Yep. So they're trying to go ahead and give the fans what they want, and I appreciate that. DC is trying, albeit really, really late to the game. They're trying to kind of make amends to their fan base, because they screwed the proverbial pooch so hard,
and now
they have consistently. Yeah, well, and this is the inevitable outcome. There was never what they tried to do with the whole, unite the four thing, with Justice League years ago now, was so poorly thought out.
Poorly done.
This movie, think about it. I mean, we're getting a Flash origin story, technically, at least a portion of it, at the end of the whole cycle. It's not the way it should work. This movie doesn't make sense in the story that they're trying to tell, especially when you consider the fact that if you want to come from a comic book standpoint, they're trying to tell a really, really severely abridged version of Flashpoint, which is, by the way, the single greatest Flash story there is. 100%. So, to do that, to kind of use that big bullet, if you will, that big, I don't know, whatever, to try to kind of get butts in seats, you're kind of slitting your own throat, especially if you're going to end up, rebooting the entire universe, like obviously they're going to do with Peter Seraphine and James Gunn. So, I'm excited to see what James Gunn is going to do. James Gunn's already gone out on social media, which he tends to do a lot, and already said that the Blue Beetle is going to be the first film of the DCEU. This new,
it is.
It is. Yeah, he came out recently.
I thought you said Superman Legacy was.
Well, that's going to be the first official movie itself for the new reboot thing, like the first character they're going to have coming in. So essentially, if you will, if you want to use Marvel terminology, Phase 1 will start essentially with Blue Beetle.
And I hope that character grows. His whole.
I hope so. From my perspective now, not seeing the film because it doesn't come out for another month or two. It looks like fun. I still I think I said it last time. I don't know if I did, but that line, that stinger line at the end of the trailer where he says, "Batman is a fascist," makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
that's such a great line.
Hey, do you think that was a good farewell for the show? Or, I mean, for the characters?
No,
right? Wasn't
it's not. It's not, because ultimately we know these characters aren't going away. We're gonna see some of these characters, some of these actors not coming back. It doesn't look like we're probably gonna see Ben Affleck come back. The best cameo, in my opinion, and the one that actually made me laugh the most, was the George Clooney reveal at the end.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was
the best part. That was amazing.
Who the F are you? I was
yeah. And he's just like, are you Batman? And he's like, dude, he's
Yeah,
like,
he's like, dude,
and of course, yeah, George Clooney's already amazing. Like, yeah, I'm one of those people I would watch that guy do anything. So just the idea of him kind of coming back to the fold after going through what can only be considered an abject disaster with Batman and Robin, is so nice to see. And it's so much fun to see somebody like him who has always had a really, really good self-effacing kind of sense of humor, someone who's really, really fun, and understands and takes the piss out of himself all the time. To come back to this franchise in this role that he is infamous for, to kind of just say, you know what? All right, I'll have a little bit of fun. But it does go ahead and bring up an interesting concept. And again, I don't expect this to be the case, but if they wanted to do it, I'm totally 100% on board. Imagine if they were able to get George Clooney back into the fold to play the older Bruce Wayne in the Brave and the Bold, which, by the way, just got announced that the director of this, the Flash movie, is going to be directing the Brave and the Bold. If you're going to have an older, you know, Bruce Wayne, and you're going to have George Clooney do it, dude, you got my money. I mean,
well,
right there,
it has to
I'm
be
in.
I want it to be like a John Wick style Batman because the technology is there, and I think George Clooney can play that. But don't you want to see Michael Keaton first? Let him
I
turn it
love
down.
Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton. I think this movie was the last Michael Keaton appearance as Batman we're ever gonna see. The thing that made me laugh, and the thing I could only continue to think about all the time, the entire time I was watching the movie, was watching this guy who did Birdman about what 5 6 years ago at this point, and the concept of how that movie was completely making fun of the whole concept of what Michael Keaton obviously did in the first two Batman
Yep.
movies, and then coming in and kind of like putting back on the cape and the cowl and just being like, wow, this is really kind of odd. It really is. But I don't think so. I'm not against it if they do, if that's what they decided to do. But I will tell you right now, if I were to bet money on it, I don't bet that I'm going to see Michael Keaton, play Batman again, considering the fact also he is 73 years old. I don't think that's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
going to happen again. I think he's born in 1950, if I remember correctly.
So
So it's
George,
around the
George,
same age
I can
as.
go with George Clooney on that. You
Yeah, George
know,
Clooney's great. If they want to do that whole thing, no, I will say this, and I've been saying this for a long time. I really, really like the idea of if they would do a Batman Beyond film and have him be Bruce Wayne, and then obviously introduce, the Batman Beyond character, Luis or whatever his name is. I forgot his name. He's a Latino character. Um, and have him obviously kind of take the mantle, obviously, as Batman. Totally fine with that if they want to eventually do that. And I think that, being that, you know, what's his name? George Clooney is, what, probably like 10 to 13 years, about 13 years, I think, younger than
Keaton.
Michael Keaton, gives him a little bit longer kind of when it comes down to like that, that proverbial
And dude, George
uh,
Clooney takes care of himself. Like he looked in great shape.
oh, he's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, George Clooney, is still a leading man. He's not doing the same stuff he was doing 10 years ago, but yeah, he's certainly not gone away from the limelight or anything else. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, he looked great. It's a great idea. So I love that. A couple of the cameos when that whole thing happened, where they did like the cameo bomb thing at the end.
Yep.
I mean, I saw it with a good friend of mine here who is a huge DC fan. Like he's a DC fan the way I'm a Marvel guy, the way I'm more of an X-Men guy. He is obsessed with all this stuff. So, he gasped when he saw like George Reeves and Christopher Reeve. And when, everything else happened. For me, the one that got me, of course, was I mean, I think you probably already know. It's gonna be what's his name showing up?
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. I mean, when
That was
Nicolas Cage
perfect.
showed up with Superman Unchained, and they show him fighting the spider, which if you know that Kevin Smith story, um, that was like the best. Like, no, that brought me more joy in that
Hey,
entire than entire other movie had basically given me at that point.
our fans don't know about that story, the Kevin Smith story. They don't know that there was a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. So in a summation, real quick. So Kevin Smith was actually asked to go ahead and write a movie, a script for a Superman movie back in the '90s, and it was going to be called Superman Unchained. The guy who was producing it, I can't remember his name offhand. I'm sorry. I'm going to remember it when I leave, but I can't remember it right now. Had the rights and was producing the film. And the whole crux of the idea, the whole story of the movie was basically that Superman was going to be fighting Brainiac, which is a really cool idea. Some character that literally we've never seen on screen, which I thought was a great idea. I like Kevin Smith though, so I'm gonna unlock a lot of the stuff he does. Peter something was the producer's name. Can't remember his name. Damn it. But what basically he does is he gets into this room with the producer, and the producer's like, "Yeah, I'm really liking the idea, but I really want Superman to fight a spider." And he's like, "A spider, yeah, a big spider." So that doesn't really go anywhere. The movie obviously doesn't happen. Production stops. Whatever else. Kevin Smith, goes on to become Kevin Smith and do what Kevin Smith does.
Yep.
And then of course, what gets produced next? Wild Wild West. And what's in Wild Wild West, folks?
Big spider.
A big spider. So it's just really it was a wink and a nod to the audience, and it was actually, in my opinion, probably the best part of the entire movie was probably that 8 seconds that we got on screen time.
Yeah, that was really cool. I did like that. But
sitting in there.
What did you think of the performance of that actress that played Supergirl?
I thought she was okay. I don't think they gave her anything to really work with, to be honest with you. They didn't really give her a lot. She was fine. I'd like to see that character come back, to be honest with you. I think that anytime we have an opportunity to see a different version of a female superhero, I'm all for it. I've always been a big fan of female superheroes. It's always been something I've always really kind of responded well to. And I thought that, the way that they treated, the character was okay. I thought it was fine. They just didn't give her a lot. What basically she is more of a plot device than anything else, obviously. The whole, oh, okay, so we're gonna tie this into Man of Steel. That's what this whole movie is predicated on. And so, oh, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go find, Superman. Well, of course, we get there and we don't find him, we find her. It's an alternate timeline. The one thing that bothered me about the marketing of this film, and the thing that really annoyed me when I was watching the film itself, was this. And these are things that, had they just not shown it, it would have been surprising to the audience. It would have been surprising to me. I would have been more engaged because I would have been surprised, as opposed to just seeing, oh, they spoiled everything, basically, aside from some cameos.
Yeah.
All the big reveals that should have been, oh my God, you're going to tell me that Michael Keaton is in this movie and he shows up? Oh my God.
That's a hard one to keep away from people.
Blow my mind. It is, but it can be done.
But it sells tickets.
That's the thing. But that's the whole thing. Here's the thing. You know what sells tickets better than anything? Quality.
True.
People go to see good movies. And yeah, it's nice to know, obviously, whatever else that, that Michael Keaton's going to be there and whatever else. But here's the thing. Had you done the movies the right way before, had you done this 8 years ago, however long it was when you did, Justice League or whatever it was, had you done it, you know what? I'm just going to say it. Had you just done what Marvel did, we wouldn't be in this issue. We wouldn't be in this problem. We wouldn't be in this predicament right now. That's the issue that DC did, was they just thought, you know what? Everyone knows these characters. We don't really have to go ahead and tell origin stories for anybody. No.
We want to see that.
Everyone knows Batman. I agree. I don't need to see the frickin' pearls one more time in my entire life, okay? in this or any other existence. I don't need to see Crime Alley, Martha and Thomas Wayne getting shot and killed by Joe Chill. Okay. I don't need that. We don't need that. No one wants to see that. But the fact is that, yeah, we do need a Barry Allen movie. We need a Flash origin story. We need to see that kind of thing. Now, they thought, well, they just ended 9 seasons of the Flash TV show. People know the story may be there. Maybe that's a thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
Guess what? I didn't watch The Flash. I've watched a few episodes of it. I don't care about The Flash. So as an average John Q. Public, movie fan, I'm not trying to watch, Grant Gustin as The Flash, as Barry Allen. So I didn't care. Yeah, do I know that origin story? I do because I'm a comic book nerd. But the fact is that the majority of people don't. So why are you going to tell one? Where are you going to wrap in the best story along with an origin story at the end
Yep.
of everything? It just doesn't make any gosh darn sense. It really doesn't. So that's always kind of been my problem with DC. As far as the post-credit scene, that thing with Arthur Curry with Aquaman was so dumb.
Yeah, I thought the
same. Did I laugh? Yes, I laughed because I think Jason Momoa is actually really funny. He's really charming. He's got a good personality. But good God, so dumb. Oh, I'm gonna sleep here. He's drunk in the puddle. It's oh my God. It's stuff like this that just shows what not to do when it comes to making these types of movies. And that's the problem that I really had with The Flash, is that there's a movie here, but they just don't care. They don't show any reverence for a lot of stuff. And they don't really seem to have any real direction. And that's really always kind of been my problem with DC, is this whole idea that they can kind of play fast and loose with everything. And if anything that we've seen, Marvel has proven that people want an interconnected story. We like the interconnected. We like the Marvel cinematic universe. We like seeing that kind of setup. There's nothing wrong with like a Guardians 3 or something that's kind of separate from the major overall storylines that are kind of being told. Those will still work, but they still want it within the overall framework of that universe. DC has basically said, well, we're going to have essentially 2 separate setups. We're going to have independent movies like Joker, which don't get me started on Joker because we'll be here another 2 hours. But and then we're also going to go ahead and we're going to tell those kind of what they're calling Elseworld stories. And then we're going to have the main timeline, like this, where it's going to be, in the DC universe proper. You can't have it both ways. If you want to do the other stuff, you could always just make, an alternate timeline kind of thing. That being said, I don't know if I speak for you, but I think I speak for a lot of people when I say I am so flippin' tired of this alternate timeline bull. I'm so over
the multiverse. Yeah, I'm done with it.
I'm done. I'm done with the multiverse. I'll be the first to say I've never been a multiverse guy to begin with. Call me old fashioned, call me boring, whatever else. It's true. I like Earth 616 in Marvel. Just give me the regular run of the mill Marvel universe, and I don't need alternate timelines for other stuff. Yeah. I don't need it. It's too freaking confusing. There's too much stuff going on. And then also, they're saying, oh, well, it allows people to tell an alternate story, or it's an onboarding point for new readers and stuff. Well, you know what? I came in the freaking 80s. I caught up. I'm cool. They make it easier now to go ahead and read that old stuff anyways with, Marvel Online and stuff. So you can get an idea of what's going on. You can read the internet and, look at Marvel Wiki or whatever else, and you can get an idea of what the context of a story itself is and not have to necessarily even completely read it. That's fine too. They just failed. They really, really did. So I'm welcoming the whole James Gunnification of it all. Tear it down, bring it something new. I like that idea at this point. I think he's going to ultimately do what they should have done, X amount of years ago when this whole, Justice League fiasco happened, and I think that's really what it comes down to.
How much time do we have?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Real quick, it's starting over. So it's like this whole timeline, all these characters, they're non-existent after this, right? That's the
Pretty
whole
much,
point of
yeah.
James Gunn doing his thing. Who do you see as Superman? Who do you see as Batman? Because I saw something for Batman, and I was like, interesting. No, Patterson's for something. He's Elseworld, right? Something different.
As an Elseworld, yeah.
Whatever
So
Elseworld
yeah,
means.
yeah. Pattinson is still going to be doing that. That's coming out October of 2024, I believe.
And I saw a thing on Twitter that they were talking about maybe bringing in the guy that was in Punisher to play Batman in the first season, Ben something. He was in Narnia back in the day. He was the bad guy in the Punisher. What's his name?
Oh, the bad guy from Punisher.
Yeah, he was the bad guy.
He does those commercials T-Mobile.
He does the T-Mobile commercials right now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm fine with it. I don't really know. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I don't really have as much skin in the game in this stuff. You know, when it happens, when it gets announced, I'll make my decision at that point. I'm as I get older, I'm finding myself less reactive to stuff. Stuff bothers me in a different way.
Thanks for watching our clip. If you want to see more clips like this and you like our views, like the show, click here for some more clips. If you want to hear the whole podcast, watch the whole podcast, click here for the whole podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll get back to you. Thank you, and have a great day.